So the first thing we're going to do is cut that fingernail down just to help the tip stick better. And I'm just filing around, I'm rounding out the shape of her real nails so it won't be too square. And just filing it down because you know you don't want your real nails too long under the acrylic. And this is my sister, by the way. I'm doing a repair on her nails. She broke one of them. So now I'm just taking my drill, and I never use my electric drill at a high speed when I'm on natural nails just because I have a fear of messing up someone's nail bed. So I use it low, and then I just take my time and I go around the cuticle area after I push the cuticles back, and then I just go across the surface to just rough it up because you don't need to put too much pressure on it. You just want to get the natural oils out of the nail. So once you do that, you find the tip that best fits the nail. If it's too big, then you go with the bigger one versus the smaller one. So if you have one that's too big and one that's too small, you'll go with the bigger one. You cut the size down and you shape it to fit that nail. But this one, it was just right, so I didn't have that problem. And I'm just using the IBD 5-second brush on nail resin or nail glue. And these tips are BU stiletto tips that I got from Amazon. And so right now I'm just getting all of my tools together. And you see me placing them on the table. But after that, I'm just going to put my nail prep dehydrator on her nails. I do that about 2 times. And then after I do the dehydrator, I go in with my primer. Now I did cut that tip down after I glued it on and made it the same length as her other middle finger. If you guys want me to do a video on how to cut down stiletto tip nails, I'll show you, because that was something I struggled with when I first bought these tips. Like, how the hell will I cut these down if somebody want them shorter? But I kind of figured it out, and so it worked out best for me. But after I applied my primer, I'm going in with a thin layer of clear on her natural nail bed just to protect her nail bed from any of the colored acrylic so that it doesn't stain. And then I'm just brushing that down slowly. So what I do is I dip into my monomer, wipe my brush on the side of the damping dish, and then on the side that I didn't wipe, I dip that into the colored acrylic and then put that on the nail bed. And then I just take it and I start to smooth it down. Don't put too much pressure on it, just kind of lightly touch it, but not too light to the point that you can't smooth it out, just to try to get it smooth. And you're going to repeat those same steps. So you're going to dip that brush into your damping dish with your liquid, wipe your brush on the side of the damping dish so that you can get a lot of the excess liquid out. Dip the side that you didn't wipe off into the actual acrylic powder and grab a small bead, and then sit that bead on the nail, and then you will start to just wipe it down just to smooth it out, but not too hard and not to put too much pressure. But make sure you consistently wipe your brush on your paper towel, because if you don't, that acrylic will build up and it will be hard to get out if you can get it out at that point. And so I'm just doing one nail. I will admit my acrylic application still really isn't the best, or maybe it's just because this acrylic was mixed with the eyeshadow. So it's getting better. It was smooth enough, but it was some spots that wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be. But it was smooth enough that I can encapsulate it, because the layer that mattered the most to me was the clear, because once I put the clear on top, that's the part or the surface that she will touch and see. And it was important to make sure that was really smooth and there was no lumps and bumps in that. And you're going to do the same exact thing for the clear. Dip your brush into your damping dish with your monomer, and you wipe one side of the brush onto the damping dish. The side that you did not wipe on the damping dish, you take that side and you put it in the powder, and you don't have to drag it all the way across. You can just dip it in just a bit to get enough, like a smaller bead. But the more you work with acrylic, you will realize how big of a bead you need. But you just get the size of the bead that you need. and then you take the bead and put it on the nail, and then you start to smooth it downwards or upwards. And you know, just smooth it out as you need to, just to get the nail smooth. And don't put too much pressure on it, just slightly brush it down, but not too soft and not too hard. Like, you will figure out how hard you need to brush it down as you're doing it, because you don't need to put so much pressure on it that you start to brush the acrylic down and make it flat instead of allowing the nail to have an arch and an apex. But once I'm done with that, I'm just shaping up her nail again with my nail file. And I apologize for my phone shaking. It's just this little table I had my tripod attached to. It was on there, and every time I would file, the way that the camera was angled, it was kind of in my way. So that's why I kept moving. Every time I would file, I had to turn my arm a weird direction just to shape it. So I apologize for that. But yes, just take the file and do like a 45-degree angle and go underneath the nail and kind of file from the corners, but not too much on each side, because if you file too much on one side, your nail will look crooked. So you just do a little bit on each side until you get the shape that you want and need. Okay, now once I got the shape that I want, I'm going around the cuticle area with my drill bit. This is actually not my safety drill bit. I got some new ones just because I feel like the safety ones I had don't allow me to really get around the cuticle as much as I need to prevent lifting. And I was kind of scared to use the cuticle drill bit like this at first, but it really wasn't that bad or that hard for me. You just have to pay close attention to try your best not to cut them. But it wasn't too bad. But all I'm just doing is smoothing out the nail and debulking it in certain areas. So if I feel like it was too bulky at the top, I would try to take a lot of that bulk off so it won't look weird and just be super bulky and unnatural looking. So I did make the mistake of having some of it just a little too bulky up towards the top of the nail near the cuticle area. So that's why I'm concentrating my drill bit in that area a lot, just because I didn't want it to be too bulky on the sides. But at the same time, once I filed it down, I didn't file it down too far that it started to cut into the color. I was still on the clear layer, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't too bulky. And the carbide drill bit that I am using, it is the fine drill bit. And make sure you rub your finger over the nail to make sure it's smooth and you don't feel any bumps or lumps. That's why I was rubbing my thumb over her finger, just because one of my pet peeves, or it's just really important to me to make sure I get the nail as smooth as I possibly can. Now, because I'm a beginner, there may still be some bumps and lumps, but I at least wanted to get it down to a minimal amount of those, like as much as I can. That's why I'm saying as much as I can. Somebody else may be able to get all of it out or most of it out, but I might not be able to. So I just try my best to make sure that nail is smooth. But after you're done with that, you're just going to go ahead and buff that nail just to get all of the scratches from the drill out. And I apologize for being out of frame sometimes, because I forget that once I edit, the watermark from the editing system I use is always towards the bottom. So I have to learn to push her hand or put my hand up higher in the camera. So I'm still learning with the filming angle, so I do apologize for that. But I'm just buffing her nail really good because I just really wanted the scratches out. Now once you're done buffing, you use the top coat of your choice. Mine is my Pretty Diva UV LED top coat that I got from Amazon. and I'm just putting that on her nail, and I cured that all the way for 99 seconds, just because the bottle that says 1 minute I think for LED light and 2 minutes for UV, or other way around. I know the instructions say 1 minute for one and 2 minutes for the other, so I just do the 99 second one just to be careful and make sure it's cured all the way through. And so once I put my top coat on, her hands go into the lamp. And after that, this is just a big old bottle of cuticle oil I got from Static Beauty Supply from like $3 and some change. So I'm just taking a Q-tip because I don't have like a little, you see the type of bottle I have, it's just the top and the liquid. So I just dip a Q-tip, a clean Q-tip in there on one side, and I just go around her cuticles to put the cuticle oil on there, and then I massage it in. And that's all there is to just really doing this repair. I should have made a video when I repaired the one using just a nail form, but if I have to do a repair when I use a nail form instead of a tip, I would try to record that so you guys can see some other ways that you can do repairs. But that was the way I did it. So this is her finished nails. This is a set she already had on that I filled in, but this is just her finished set with her repair. And thank you so much.